early as they can.
Went out of court yesterday, Thursday, and that's when he was like, how much you have to pay to get you ahead of me like that? And he's joking around and saying, all right, I'll see you up there. Head up the highway and we go up to the door, and then after the turnpike, go down the turnpike where all construction is, that somebody got caught speeding in the construction.
I was looking for
That guy. Oh, yeah. Sitting out there for a month. Where he said there's what? What was that?
Okay, I'm not gonna mention that. Yeah, he's there the other day.
He's been sitting out there for a month. I know all the different places he sits, and I know he watches speed. He went speeding up through there. I see the blue lights, and I was like, uh-oh. I get up there and there's his truck. I was like, I need to get on the motor before he gets there. He's gonna get really mad now. All right, so we're going to get started with the board meeting. Alright, so we'll call this board meeting to order, dated 4/19/25 with roll call. Mike Riley,
present.
Casey Eastubb,
Here.
Jack Musgrove, Randy Edgar here, and William Mosenbaugh is here. So we do have a quorum for the board, and we'll start into the treasurer's report.
Okay. As of today, the general fund has $171,215.72.
Hey, can you please, speak to the mic, 'cause I'm gonna have to record this and be able to do all that, sorry.
Okay, I appreciate it. As of today, in the general fund, we have $171,215.72. And in the road fund, we have $22,985.07. We do still have 2 lots for auction, A308 and A327, for $3,000 for 308 and $1,000 for 327. We did not receive any bids on those. Just for this month, we brought in $10,369.50. For the whole year, we've already brought in $56,588.80. Now, in back dues of that, we have brought in already $8,126.71, which I originally even said, I hope we do that, but we can't guarantee it when I did the yearly budget, so that's really good. So our expenses for the month so far, just this month, it's $2,053.34. That's still traditional trash, water, electric. Water I paid all of last month, so I haven't got its bill yet this month. Overall, we're still at a positive $42,630 on the year, given we're always super positive at this time, because we've got all the dues coming in with just a couple months of expenses. But even for this month, positive $6,700. And just on the treasure report itself, that would be it. I've got other stuff later, but just for the treasure report, that's it.
Alright, so I'll entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
Aye. Well, you make the motion. Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And any abstain? Alright, treasurer's report's accepted as written. And you said you got other stuff, or
Hey.
later on, or?
I could do it now. It's money stuff, so I can do it now. So far, we have been notified of 18 lots that are going to go up for the property sales tax auction with Cherokee County for failing to pay their property tax for 4 years or more. I've got a list of those. We'll get it posted online at this time. And I even have it divided of how much they owe in property taxes versus how much they'll owe in dues. There's only 3 of those lots that does get a little annoying, where almost all of them are single lots except for one set. A person owns 3 lots. I do know the county will individually auction those independently. So like that person owes like $1,600 in dues. We'll just split it up evenly between the 3. And of course, I think we've all talked that we'll go to the day of the auction, second Monday of June. And if nobody bids on one, we'll buy it. But this year we're going to try to we found out last year we can't stand up and talk when they put a lot up. So we'll notify people as soon as they put it up there to bid that, hey, it owes this much in dues, so people can't be surprised, they'll know. And then there is one lot I did find, I guess it went up for a county resale in 2022 and didn't sell, so it's just sitting in limbo. So we need to figure out if we can get them just to put it on this property auction. Usually they don't, usually you have to pay to get it out. But it's A354, I guess it's been just in their hands for 2 years. The other one will be new business later. And that would be it for that.
Alright, so is there any other discussion on that?
I had a question on the lot that's A308, the starting bid's at $3,000. What, was there a reason why it was higher than normal?
All of us went there, or 4 of us were
Yeah, I
there.
didn't get to see.
It's pretty much completely flat.
Uh-huh.
It's, of course, any of them will need to be surveyed, but you can actually see the original pins in the ground of its dimensions. It's fairly flat, the road's not super bad. It's got a little woods on it, but it's not like heavy wood.
Water and electric?
No,
Nothing?
Nope. not that we can tell.
Nope.
I guess actually on that is A327, we've had it at 1,000. I think at this point I would motion for us to move it down to 500 on a minimum bid.
I don't know. I'd leave it.
It's been sitting in our hands since June of last year.
Yeah, I actually was gonna submit, bids for those lots, but then I just saw on the website that we had it where you couldn't,
Gotta have it Friday.
yeah, but is that a bylaw or is that like just a rule that we're making?
That's just the rule.
Cause I've been telling people that if they need if they want a silent bid, they either have to send it and get it in the mail before the meeting, or they can show up in person and give it to us before the meeting starts in an
Yes.
envelope. Because why not, you know, because
It's not-
otherwise it's like a,
It's not in the bylaws, I think
Yeah.
it's just some board put that as a rule, which I get why they did it. Because there was questions of people funneling money and doing shady deals.
opening the envelopes beforehand and putting
Tell-
it in, and so that's why it's
Or
like.
telling people, hey,
Right,
so-and-so
yeah.
has bid it for 2,000, if you put it for 2001, you can have it. So I get why they do it silent. I don't have an
I'm
issue
not
if somebody
talking
walks
silent.
in, as long as they leave it sealed, I don't have an issue with somebody coming in and dropping it off right before a meeting starts,
Yeah, that's what I was
personally.
thinking, yeah. Cause I could see it being open beforehand too, and then somebody making a new bid, you know, if they're all beforehand.
So do we
Not that
wanna,
anybody's doing it, not that anybody's doing that obviously now, but I'm just saying, there's room for fraud, or
So-
cheating that system,
do we wanna vote on that to
whatever.
make it up to the start of the meeting?
As long as they bring it.
If they walk in the door with it?
Yeah.
And it's sealed the same way? Do
Yeah.
it the same way? That you have to mail it in, but if somebody walks in the door before this meeting starts, it's still a legitimate bid.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I don't know, I'd have to look at those lots, but that A327 and stuff, a lot for $1,000, it seems like you could just buy that and turn around and sell it for 2,000 at least, you know? I don't know,
Yeah.
unless it's bad, but I don't know.
It's about 35% of it, the front 35 is decent, flat, but you're talking about a 50 by 100, I think it's actually on 40 by 80. And then after about 33, about a third of it, it just drops off.
Oh, so it's probably one of those ones you can't put a trailer on because it's too close to the easement.
Yeah, you probably could if you took the time, but you would have to do it, it'd be a pain.
Yeah, maybe you can, I don't know, whatever you guys think.
I just know, I remember putting it up when we had the old board in June of last year, and we started at 2,000 originally, never got it, not even a mention of it. We've had all the other lots bid on, even if we lost the bid, we've had bids, that's
Right.
the only one, I've never received a bid. And it's, like I said, it's been at 1,000 for at least 6
Yeah.
months now.
I know we had talked before about, on that board, that if you're not getting bids on it, lower the price, but, basically you wanna move it before we have to pay the taxes on it.
Oh, okay, I got it.
That's, we didn't wanna sit on lots and have to pay taxes on, we already pay taxes on what we have to.
Right,
These lots that are just up for bid, try to get them gone before you have to pay the taxes on
And
them.
again,
yeah.
and even if it's only $500, we at least get someone that'll come in and pay another $100 a year in dues.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's the whole goal is to get a dues paying member on that lot.
Yeah.
So I'll make the motion if, to, accept bids all the way up to the start of the POA meeting.
A second.
He seconded
Alright,
it.
so all in favor, raise your right hand. All
Aye.
opposed? Any abstaining? Alright, so we'll go ahead and accept bids on, silent bids on properties. They have to be sealed, just like you would if you mailed them in, for the board to open in front of everybody up until the start of the board meeting. Once the board meeting starts, that's your cutoff. You walk in the door 5 minutes late, sorry, come next time.
Alright, do we wanna do one for the, lots too, or for that lot, bring it down to 500 or what?
I'll motion to bring lot A 327 starting bid down to 500.
Alright, so there's a motion on the floor,
Second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, so we'll call that one 5-0 as well, so we'll lower that one to $500. Alright, Randy, you got anything else?
Nope, that'd be it for me.
Alright, so move on to, pool. Pool, actual opening date for use is gonna be, 4/23, that's the weekend, the Friday before Memorial Day. They're coming, the 24th of this month to actually open the pool, repair the pipes that, they claim some of the pipes are sewer grade pipes, they're not pressure grade pipes, and are basically saying it's a failure waiting to happen. So, all that stuff's paid for. We're just waiting on the date to get them started. And then I'm gonna talk about in the POA meeting, some kind of little deal on that weekend, cookout or something, for opening the pool. And then, all of us know about the, UTV and golf cart agreement. That's gonna get discussed in the POA meeting as well. So, pool opening, actual for use, 4/23. I do have one other thing. 5/23, I'm sorry, 5/23. 5/23/2025. So it'll be the Friday of Memorial Weekend. We'll start opening the pool. And then also, do we wanna go ahead and order that keypad?
I did forward that.
Yeah.
Last meeting, I forwarded it to everyone again.
That's gonna,
Yeah.
okay, so I'll go ahead and order that keypad, so we'll get that put on the gate as well, and then we'll be good to go for that. All right, so that's all on pools. Go to roads, USW and county.
Okay, hopefully it'll work. I'll get this up there too close to it. I did a little bit of road work. You'll be getting a bill, probably in the mail, Brandon, for 1 day of use on the landscaper. I just went over and hit some of the worst places. Didn't buy any gravel yet, with the weather forecast the way it is for the next few months. Then on the, we talked about some, naturally, the ones that's washing out, the ones that give us the most problems are the ones that don't have a ditch, or they put a driveway in and didn't put a culvert in, or the culvert stopped up, the same thing. That's like a broken record, but that's the cause of most of all of our road issues. And then I'll be planning another day to rent some equipment and have some rock broad-ends. There's a couple of roads we need to put a little bit on. And I don't know how y'all feel, but I think we need to send USW a letter that we're not gonna repair the road in front of their building no more unless they're willing to fix their culverts and their ditch right there, cause that water just is eating that road right back out, right after culverts. And then last time we got the rain, a couple weeks ago, Casey's down at the shovel trying to fix his, and then those guys, the young kids are out there trying to shovel so they can get the water back out of the road and back into the ditch, but they're gonna have to fix it, and it's their culverts.
Yeah, what,
I would actually motion for us, at the end of the day, and I think that's something, Mike, if you could ask that lawyer at some point, even, I've never seen any of the bylaws, they technically have lots in the harbor. You know, we can really charge them the dues, but we can skip that. At the end of the day, they still have to keep that, our dues say that's their responsibility. I think we should send a warning, and then if we don't, we can mail it, but we can also give it to SIP directly. We also have the vice presidents.
I could
Yeah.
file a small claims with them.
I wouldn't even file, I would just start with just sending them a warning saying, hey, your things are part of it, you're affecting our roads.
Sure.
If you don't, we'll start finding you.
That'd be the avenue, and then after you.
Yeah, and then after you
notices,
do
You don't
claims.
even need the attorney on that one.
Sook said multiple times they're gonna do that, and he's even willing to do the other side of the road, but they ain't done nothing with it yet, so
I would just,
it's still affecting.
I mean, I'd motion that we just send them a warning, and if no response, then we'll do fines.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Alright.
All opposed? And any abstain? So it's 5-0, we'll send them a notice. And
I think we can get him to do something, it's just, and Sook's gonna be, he's not on site, he's a consultant out of Florida. So he lives in Florida and consults, still make all my phone calls or whatever to him, and he just gets hold of these young men and, they get on it. I mean, in the last few times I've had to do that, they have been out there just in minutes. We had a huge sewer line break right in front of my house, just pumping down the road. So, but anyway, that's here and there. The other stuff I'll get into with our membership, maybe probably about the new tank and things like that. And I don't know what to do. I've read over the bylaws, the deal, I sent y'all a deal on the people that complained about the barking dogs on Muleshoe. I didn't see anything where there's a limit on how many dogs you can have. It just says there'll be either a pen or a leash. And they got, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 dogs, whatever it is, but anyway, we've got to keep it. And I don't know how to take it from here.
Like I said, and that's what I thought too, is I thought when you mentioned that, I didn't think there was a limit in there. But you guys want to buy their end pins technically?
They're chained up. They're
So if they're not in a pen, they're technically leashed with a chain, like, so,
Chickens aren't.
yeah. But, yeah, but then, I mean, and I hate doing this, cause it's just being honest, but the way that all reads, I don't know that there's technically anything we can do. It'd be a civil matter from there.
Well, it had to be a change in the bylaws.
Yeah, right, yeah, changing the bylaw and then a civil matter between the neighbors, unfortunately, cause they're within rules that we don't have a ground to stand on.
The county doesn't even have rules on, you have to have a breeding permit or whatever to have so many dogs. The county doesn't even have rules on that, so.
Is there anything on the county so far as like nuisance or anything like that?
That's, I mean,
What's the-
that's not on us,
Yeah.
but if I was in that situation, I would be.
Checking the county rules and seeing it.
Yep.
And I know there is in some line of, I know for a fact there's rules in every state about that, but it's so much a civil matter, that's a pain one, and yeah, it's just like,
Nice about it. He wouldn't be a jerk, he just say, you know, there's something that can be done to quiet them down, it'd be pretty.
Technically, we don't even have noise ordinance rules, cause it's not in the bylaws, it's just up there on the board for quiet hours.
yeah, the only thing we can enforce is on these direct properties, because we control those rules.
Right.
That's all I got, though. I got a couple new things later.
Okay, alright, so, anything else on the roads, any discussion, questions, comments? We'll move on to security.
Security, there's really honestly not a whole lot new.
Guys handling business. That's it.
Good job, guys. Making my life easy.
Alrighty, questions on security, comments? Alright, we'll move on to architectural.
I'm gonna bring up with the POA meeting about, people trying to be proactive if they see somebody moving in or something like that, and going over and talking to them and making sure that they know about submitting architectural forms and all that, just to kind of help with that, because we're getting a lot of people still bringing stuff in without asking, but you know that there's people around to see it, so it's just like, if we can get people involved, that'd be good. We won a court case, for one of the lots, I think it's like $3,500 or something like that, and now I've been looking at, there's a few different ways you can go after that, and the first thing I was doing was looking to see if we can find out where he works, and then maybe garnish the wages, or something, but if that doesn't work, I think the next thing, I'm gonna have to double check, but the next thing would be to try to foreclose on the property, just to get the property back, but that's gonna, that I mean, I'm the one who did all the work on that, but if we start doing that with an attorney, then, we're gonna lose a lot of money trying to do that and like paying them hourly, you know, for those high ticket ones, if we end up just foreclosing. If we can garnish, it's one thing, you know, but if we can't get the money, then if we're trying to go after somebody for $10,000 and we're spending $7,000 or $8,000 and then we just get 2 lots back that I don't have nothing on them, that might be a problem, you know, so I don't know. I was gonna bring it up with the community, just trying to see what everybody thinks about that before we start going crazy spending money on.
Well, I think it's important to know, when you do the foreclosures, we don't get the property.
Right,
They go to a sheriff auction, and whatever we file, it's like a bankruptcy on a property is what it is. So we file, okay, they owe us this much money, and then we do get to add on, hey, they cost us $3,000, say, in lawyer fees, so they owe us $8,000 in total. Then if the property sells for $10,000, we get all $8,000 back, or if it only sells for $2,000, they go, well, here's $2,000, and then the new owner doesn't owe any dues or property taxes on it.
right.
Which is important to note. Yeah, I know we'll talk about it in the break room, but I think it's an important one, just a concept of.
Did they show up to court on that?
No, they
The
didn't.
default judgment?
That one, yeah, that one they didn't
So-
show up, but they were served.
So they,
Right, but it might be a good idea to go ahead and get the garnishment, because if they didn't show up on the court, then they're not gonna show up on the garnishment to fight it, and you have a garnishment order.
Yeah, the problem is you have to, in order to file that, you have to have the person they work for. You have to find that, and that's where I'm having the trouble, is trying to find that. If we got anybody that knows how to dig that up, you know, then.
Facebook page.
Yeah, no, I found some of the people that we're messing with, but,
that would bring up the one I did write a note on, cause you talked about it earlier. There's the person that owes like $23,000.
that's Landers?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, it's Otto something. He owed like.
Oh, yeah, Otho.
He was originally we had to file anything, because we'd all talked about, it. We didn't file anything because he owed like 9 years property tax, and when I talked to the county clerks in August, they were gonna put it up for the tax auction.
Right.
I checked today, and someone in that family finally realized he owns the property, and they went and paid the taxes, so, like, that one's gonna be a lot. I think we maybe just be willing to, what feels like a loss, because we maybe have to be willing to spend $3 or $4 grand with a lawyer to foreclose on it, which we might be able to, if we, cause did you say you found where that?
Well, I found where they live and they got assets too, so it's like, if that's one where if we took them to court and we got a judgment, we might be able to, if we can't garnish, we can get them to get some of their other property, you know, or something like that.
Even if we don't do that one, that's one of, I know that's a property that their father had for all those years and didn't pay dues. So the kids inheriting something, I would hate personally to have to, make them lose stuff because of something their father did that they should know about.
Oh, yeah.
So it's even one, if you found their address, it might be worth us, even if we can, I guess, can we send a served letter, even if it's not for a court case?
You can hire somebody individually to do that, or you can have the sheriff do it, it's like $50.
Even if it's not for a court case, we're gonna sheriff serve somebody?
Pretty sure.
Just, cause that's like, if we could just serve them with a letter saying,
You
so
can
we
do
know-
certified letters with the mail
Yeah.
too.
that may be worth it if we get the address, send that, just saying, hey, here's the document showing he hadn't paid these dues. If you don't call us and work something out, we're gonna file foreclosures. That way, they might be, at that one, they may be willing to just sign that one over. Cause the reality, I don't think there's any scenario we ever get that money. As much as I would like to, I just don't think it's something ever likely gonna happen. Sending a certified letter on that one might be better before we have to get to spend money.
I don't think anybody ever investigated it before, but it was talked about going and getting with a collection company and like turning them into collections. We might wanna investigate that too, because you don't pay anything usually up front. They're gonna take a percentage of what they recover. But at least we're either getting the property or we're getting the money that's owed to us and, some stuff like that. But they have the inside information to get job information, stuff like that. So I don't know if you can get a collection company to, like we can hire them to do part of it,
Yeah.
private investigator. And they do part of it and just get us the information where we know where, like if he can file it in the court, he has to have their job, find out where their job is, cause they can run social security numbers.
Yeah.
That might be something to look at too.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
Let's see, then I also, I wanted to propose either a committee to evaluate like violations. Make a committee to evaluate violations and then that way they can submit that to us and then we can send out the letters and, bills, you know, like via the treasurer or whatever it is that it is, you know, and then, if we don't wanna do it that way, I don't know if this one will, and this would be entertaining, but we could create a Facebook page where people can just post the violations on there and we can deal with it that way too.
Hard pass on that one.
But no, I don't know, whatever you guys think, I thought that'd be entertaining, but.
Yeah, I know they talked about doing that before, they wanted like block leaders or whatever, section leaders, and they got some for a few, but nobody really could be on the committee to do that. I mean, we can try it again.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, something, even if it's not like that might be too much to have that many people, like for each person, you got a person on each block, but if you had, maybe you had somebody, well, yeah, like for, like block A or lot A, or, you know, whatever's block A, yeah, like that, is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they tried to do before, they had like a block A person, a block B person, and you just had that area to worry
Yeah, I
about.
got you, I thought you meant like that literal block, like your street or something.
No, the whole, like,
Yeah.
plat block.
Yeah, I'd be in, I mean, I don't know, I think it'd be nice to,
We can try, I would say we can try it again, see if.
I just don't know, I'm too busy to be doing everything all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are too, so, it'd help, but I don't know. So no on the Facebook page.
Hard no on Facebook page.
That's all I got.
Okay, that's all under control. We didn't have anything for old business from last meeting. And then the new business we just talked about really. Sorry, let me evaluate. So is there anything else on the board side of it that anybody wants to bring up for new business?
I had some of the people around here complaining about people running 50 and 60 miles an hour. Thinking about breaking some crusher run and making speed bumps. Yeah, it just wouldn't take but a couple, but I mean, it has been brought up just the other day. They were saying they wish people would slow down on this road.
Which road?
Talking about
This one right
This
here.
gravel one?
Yeah, they go fly down that dude.
Oh,
Not everybody, but there's a few.
Well, it's our road. We can put speed bumps on it if we want to.
Instead of doing crusher run, I'd at the very least like to look at just the plastic things you order off the Granger.
Yeah, $100. I looked at it yesterday. I didn't look at Granger.
Or yeah,
Just
wherever,
search.
yeah. U-line or.
But yeah, I want to throw it to you guys. It was brought up as just another, kind of like the dog deal is.
Yeah, that one we can have some control over, so. All right, anything else on new business?
Well, I mean, are you wanting to order something or? you
I don't know. I
take
was just
action?
bringing it up to us to talk about it.
I'm not exactly, again, it's not my road either, so, but,
I hate speed bumps.
what?
So I hate speed bumps.
Me too.
And they may not have to stay up for long. People slow down and
Yeah.
come right back at
True.
it. But I don't know. It was just like somebody's kind of complaint. I was passing it along to us.
Can we do anything with that too, like just, like issue a fine on that or no?
Well, if they see them, they can slow them down, but, I mean, they'd have to be here 24 hours a day to catch them.
And I
That's
think
the
you
part
start
that-
getting into weird, like, well, did you record it on a,
Yeah,
Right number.
and how's it calibrated and everything,
Well, we could put speed limit signs up
That's
too,
true,
to
there's none out there.
maybe get some, that way you've got a little bit better ground to stand on when
I think what is it? I
you
think
stop
it's,
somebody or
Well,
and confront somebody about it.
it's a standard rule that any road that's not posted, that's not highway, that if it's like a back road, I think it's 25 or 35, I think it's 35.
You gotta count, I think that varies by county.
That's our bylaws say the 25 and 15. So the
Do our
ones in
bylaws
the-
actually mention it?
Yeah,
Okay.
the ones in the bylaws say, like, Forest is 25, and every other road is 15, so we could get some speed limit sign. I mean, it could be something as simple as, you know, they're thinking it's not posted, it's 30. It could be, you know, we don't care that whoever lives over there, I'm gonna
Yeah, they could
haul
do that.
hind in back there and dump my trash real quick, you know,
Yeah.
either way, but, I mean, at least if you're showing, doing something, starting with signs.
My thought on all that, like, if I'm gonna speed down that road, a sign's not gonna stop me. That just, I mean, I know what the
I don't
damn speed
disagree.
limit is,
Right.
okay? Like,
Yeah,
how soft-headed do you gotta be to?
30 mile per hour.
I had something, are we still talking on that, or we wanna do that, to vote on it, or something?
I don't know, I mean, what are you thinking, signs, you thinking
Yeah.
Motion to do a speed bump.
speed bump? Alright, so I'll entertain a motion to do a speed bump, is there a second? Got a second? So all in favor of putting a couple speed bumps on, I don't know what that road is back there,
Trash road.
it's not Owl.
This road right here.
The back side of the office, we'll make it specific in the minutes, make sure we know what road that is.
Oh, you guys gonna, or do we vote to do it?
We're
Not
doing,
yet.
the motion's on the floor right
So-
now. It's on Al Drive, South Al Drive.
It is Owl Drive, okay.
Mhm.
So, couple speed bumps on South Owl Drive.
For understanding, it's just, it'd be right under $200.
If you buy.
You ain't gonna hurt my feelings if you vote no, Mike.
Yeah, I didn't know where there was a motion, I was just waiting.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
motion.
we're,
How do you vote?
it's open for discussion now,
No,
so
I'm
anything.
not gonna entertain that one.
That's fine.
We got one no, or abstain.
Is there any other discussion on it?
I don't mind it.
My only question is,
Quality.
it's private roads, so I guess it probably doesn't matter. Is there anything legally saying you can't?
Well, on
No,
Owl
it's-
Drive too, I don't know if you noticed, but like at the front end of it up there by Forest, there's already a huge bump. I drive over that with my bike all the time and like you can't really, you gotta slow down right there for sure. Now, I don't know about past that, like if people are flying down for sure.
It's not a county, so.
But how about this if we change it from a speed bump to a speed hole?
I think the speed hole would get us in trouble. I don't hate the speed hole, because
How about a speed ramp and we'll just launch them somewhere?
that's what that speed bump's
Yeah,
gonna
after the creek, yeah.
Like I said, I mean, I don't even know if you have to, I don't know how good like a
Some-
rubber speed bump would be on a gravel road. I think you just.
Some of them do.
I would just do it with pressure run.
do. I wouldn't do it crusher run. I think that's in the end just gonna create more of a mess, and that's gonna, you're never gonna get it tight enough to not break up. I think if you do it, you buy one that you can just pick up and move later. I personally, I'll abstain because I don't care, just to be quite frank, but I don't have an issue with it, against it, or for it.
Right.
But if they're not bad, I'd just say do one that's removable. It's not horrible to do.
How you vote?
Anything else?
Abstain, everybody abstain. No vote for the speed bump. No
Well,
speed
you
bump.
got two yes?
I didn't vote.
Oh, you didn't vote?
I just put the motion forward.
What's your vote?
Not no.
Okay, so
So you got 2 yeses, a no, and 2 abstains.
no speed bump. Sorry,
I
guys.
noticed, in Wayne and Harbor, all the signs that we have, there's a phone number on there that we don't use, you know, and so people are calling out, I've gotten messages about it. But then also, the website, it's listed on 2 different signs, and it's the wrong website. It says lake10killerharbor.com, not 10killerharbor.com, so it's the incorrect website.
So all we
we
gotta
have
do
the
is,
wrong number and the wrong website.
so we just got a whiteout lake on the front of it.
We just need to update the signs, yeah. The one that's like way up tall in your place, and then also the big one. They're all wrong.
Oh, the one that's up there, yeah.
Yeah, that one's wrong, and its website and phone number, both of them incorrect.
Well, they used to have a phone, I guess.
Yeah.
But even they used
But
to,
it's
they had a
throwing off.
website, and it's the wrong
You know,
website too.
I'd be willing to bet there's a lot of people that'd be like, well, I didn't know how to pay my dues and everything on the signs that says this and that. We
Well,
gotta get it fixed.
And in that same argument though, this is how little people pay attention. Susan has reached out to me multiple times, and people are still calling her.
Yeah,
And she hadn't been on the board since July, and she's like, one of them wouldn't stop arguing. She goes, my number's not posted anywhere. Brandon's is for the treasurer. Here's his number. And they're like, no, I got your number off. And she's like, could you please screenshot where? And they literally just kept arguing with her. And she's like, and I'm like, Susan, I've even checked through AppFolio to make sure it doesn't show you.
At some point, that
gets on her for not just hanging up the phone.
Yeah, well, that's her that she just was trying. So, but me and her talked about it, that people still are calling her even though she's been off the
Well,
board.
yeah, I mean, you can tell people and tell people and tell people. I mean, how many times have we told, you know, we've posted these lots that are up for auction and they have dues owed on them. And we've told people at every meeting right before and they still come in here screaming, hollering and cussing because they bought a lot at the auction and it's got, you know, $500, $1,000 worth of dues on it and they don't think they owe that. Do your due diligence when you're buying a piece of property. We said it 1,000,000 times and people still walk in there and buy them and
Like I said, that's why,
get mad when they owe dues.
that's why I said at this meeting this year, we'll go there, every time one of ours comes up, we'll stand up, say what they owe, so nobody can say they didn't know.
All right. Anything else on new business?
Do you want, you did not get approved for your speed bump. I'll motion for the speed limit sign. I don't think it matters personally either, I agree with Casey, but I know it was an idea if you wish to.
All right, so there's motion. I'll entertain a motion to put speed limit signs on Owl Drive.
Second.
Got a second? All in favor? Yes.
This is on, yeah, I'm.
Opposed?
This is.
I got one opposed.
For
All
Owl,
right, that's, yeah,
Yeah.
for Owl right here,
back here.
Yeah.
yeah, that's wild, I don't even notice anybody speeding.
All right, so that motion will actually pass.
Yeah. Well, I know. That's
So
what
we'll get some speed limit signs to put back there on Owl Drive.
Okay.
At least one going each way, possibly two going each way.
We did our part.
Yes, sir.
I have, you want 15 mile an hour?
15 mile an hour.
That's great.
I got the signs.
Yeah.
And we got two signs.
So we just need
I just
T-posts?
need, I
You got
just need a
T-posts?
post to mount them on.
I got 2 T-posts.
Need it, can you mount them on T-post or?
Yeah.
They gotta be the,
Oh,
You can do anything with enough creativity.
Just get a clamp it to it.
so we've got T-post, but if not, we'll buy the post.
the
We'll get
metal, the
posts.
solid metal posts.
That's nice.
Okay. We've got solid metal pipes right behind us. If someone's got something to drill it down, right here behind the building,
Okay.
there's
We'll-
steel, solid steel
We'll
pipes.
figure it out and get this put up.
Okay.
All right, perfect, thank you.
Are we good on getting some paint or something to fix them signs and doing that, or?
At
Yeah,
the
we
very
can
least,
just-
we can just white it out.
Yeah, we
At
don't,
least the website.
I'd
yeah.
like to, yeah, I'd like to white them out and then put the right website on there, so it's like.
Well, basically, the websites, we just gotta mark out the first lake park, cause then just tinkerharbor.com is the website. So
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least
that would
those
work.
just paint over lake.
Sure, sure.
yeah, we don't need to do anything on that, we can just do that, but if we come to the point where we wanna redo them, then we probably ought to do a motion and vote and all that stuff, to like completely redo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about those sections.
Yeah, that's-
where
yeah,
it's the phone
Yeah, we
number.
can just do that.
Just fix it, yeah.
All right, anything else on new business? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, and any abstain? Meeting's adjourned.
20 minutes until.